See, when you become an entrepreneur and then you're managing yourself, right? You're self-employed, you're managing you. And then you start building a business. I don't care what it is. It could be in pest control. It could be, you created the next greatest, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. You now have to have staff and you've never hired staff. So it's really important to understand W-2, 1099. Okay, so when people go like, well, I'm just gonna pay them as 1099. If you control their movements and they're an employee, and you should do that the right way. How do you do that? You need to have a good attorney. We talked about that before. You need a good accountant. Somebody that handles your payroll. Somebody that makes sure you do everything exactly the right way. Don't ever mess with the US government. They won 2 world wars and they print their own money. Be smart. Hiring and firing, right? First of all, hiring, you need to figure out for you what makes sense. Like, so for me, one of the things I say is, I don't like drama. Like people being negative all day long at work. So I'll ask people like, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you 10? I'm being serious. I'm trying to figure out, I don't work well in that. So you have to decide, what don't you work well in, right? Where are you? And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a successful entrepreneur, you probably have those traits. You probably are very positive. You're probably very solution focused. You want somebody solution focused. If you're solution focused like I am, I say, are you problem focused or solution focused? Now they're gonna say solution focused, that's the right answer. But I go, okay, as we move through this, the first 30 days is really like your working test period. After the first 30 days, we're gonna both decide. Number one, I'm gonna decide if this is a good fit for me and the company, but you also have to decide if this is a good fit for you as an employee. And at the end of 30 days, we're gonna sit down and go over that, because I don't want you to be at a job you're not happy with. And I can't have you at a job you're not effective with when I'm paying you, okay? Now, one of the things that's important is communication. You hire your first staff. Every single week, you should sit down with that person for 30 minutes and talk about what happened that week. They just started. You should talk about, you should ask a lot of questions. You should gather a lot of information, and every week you should feel better or worse about that person's position. If you get to a point in your business where you go, you know what? My gut says I need to fire this person. You're the one that's the employer, you're paying, you probably should. And what I mean by that is you have a reason. I mean, you didn't just wake up one day and go, oh, I want to fire the person. The person shows up late all the time. Man, the person doesn't do their job right. Man, the person was on the phone and offended 14 customers. Whatever it happens to be, and you should articulate all that. And I'm also big on taking copious notes and documenting everything. That makes it easy. And by the way, the struggle for a lot of people is you don't talk to somebody when there's a problem. You wait 30, 45, 78 days, and you sit them down and go, it's not working. And they are blown away. You wanna know why? They should be blown away, because you didn't communicate with them. Most of us avoid that. I never do. I'll wake up in the morning, go to work, and I think, okay, this person's been here for a week. Let me sit down with Tom on Friday. Hey, Tom, first of all, Tom, let me ask you, how do you think it's going? Yeah, I think it's going pretty good. Okay, cool. Give me 1 or 2 things that you've gotten better at this week that you're working on. Boom, 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 right? Now let's say you decide to fire Tom. Tom is going to work on time. Set expectations. Tom, we come to work on time. If you run the company, you don't come to work on time, you can do what you want, but you shouldn't tell them to come to work on time. If you don't come to work, and it's like you and 1 or 2 other people, you don't have a real company yet, like you're just getting this thing started, and you want them there at 8 and you come at 9, you can't do that. I don't have an answer. I mean, you can if you want, but I don't know how to tell you to be there at 8 when I roll in at 9. So I've never done that. I was the first one. My buddy said to me, he said, my dad's a very successful businessman. He said, you have to be the first one of the office, first one of the office, or the last one to leave, preferably both. And I think for me, that was important, right? But you sit the person down along the way and talk to them. When I fire somebody, I bring them in, I go, hey, listen, Drew, first of all, I want to ask you, it's not been, obviously things aren't, because you've been talking to them, obviously things aren't going great. Let me ask you, Drew, do you believe you're a good fit for this job? When I do it that way, by the way, I'm probably kind of talking to the fact that you're probably gonna fire yourself, because you already know it's not a good fit. And then I say, Drew, I'll listen to you. Now, if you go, I think I'm the greatest fit in the world. Like, okay, Drew, but for the last 4 weeks, we talked about this and this week, this and this week, this and this week, and this and this week, and nothing's changed, bud. And I keep talking about it, and that's not gonna be a good fit for me. If you think it's a good fit, I'm not concerned for you, I'm okay, but I can't continue to employ you. When I hired you, I said you had to come, and again, structure and short-term goals give people a sense of urgency. I provide that structure up front. Here's how the schedule is, here's what I expect, here's how hard we need to work. So you have to know how to do all of the above. And again, if you avoid the uncomfortable conversation, you're gonna suck at it. And when you're a first-time employer, if you are first, tell people. I always tell people, like when anything I did, first I went real estate, I didn't go out and go like, I've been here 30 years. I was like, it's my first deal. If you're my first employee, I'm like, you're my first employee. I'm transparent, I'm open, and by the way, when you don't know, ask your accountant for information. We already talked about having a good attorney. You should have a good attorney. You need a good accountant and a good attorney to be successful in business. You need to hire and fire. You need to know when to do it, and when you feel it and you know you have to do it quick. And when you find somebody that walks in the door and you may not have a position for them, but they're really, really good. And you go, man, I already hired one. Some of my best employees ever came in off of like the street or somebody referred them. I had no job for them and I hired them. People are like, what'd you hire him for? I don't know. Meaning not like why, but they're like, what position is he gonna be in? I don't know, I have no idea. But he's too good to let him walk back out the door. And when you find good people, if this helped, I'm gonna teach you how to keep good people, because keeping good people is the key to success. And if you become one of these like minor league teams where you get good people and they quit you and then I find them and I hire them, then you help me but doesn't help you. Watch the next video on how to retain good people and subscribe here please so you can keep getting free content.